Hello and welcome. Today we will solve an interesting problem challenge because has an interesting solution. The problem is one of the Microsoft Excel World Championship 2024 questions. It is rated as moderate, but it is interesting because we will solve it by using AI, and we will call AI repeatedly. So here is the case challenge. As you can see, the instructions, there's a background, the gameplay, and some sequence definitions. In the answer and question section, you will see question 1 here, and then you are supposed to put the answer to question 1 there. What makes it interesting is that the questions will need the grid, yes, which is over here, but also the questions, only one question will appear at a time. They all will refer to the grid, but the questions themselves will appear in the same spot, which is C38 and C28 and B28. Question number 1, and that's question number 1 in C28. To see the next question, you have to answer the current question first. For example, let's give the correct answer to question 1, and as you can see, it now becomes question 2. So you give the correct answer to each one here as you go until you finish all the 21 questions. So yes, that's what makes it interesting with AI. Why interesting with AI? Because when you remember, when you solve a problem with AI generating VBA code, you only have one chance to generate the correct code. So you give the AI the information you need, that says this information, the grid information, and the final question. But you can only give one. You don't know what the other questions is. So you can do it for one question only. So therefore, we need to actually repeatedly call AI to solve all the 21 questions. That's what's interesting. So let's say, for example, we have the AI input over here. Let's have a look at that. This is our AI input, and this is how we will answer the first question. Let's read it. So here, help me 3 to instruct the AI to create a VBA, and it says refer to all the open workbooks, and we'll find this workbook name, which is this one here. That's the name of the workbook. And for the sheet case, that's the sheet case name, and we will have ranges to refer to this case sheet. So the range is, we're mentioning C20 to W20, we're mentioning that, and we're also explaining to AI where to position the answers and something like that. So if you look at this, there's a background information in these cells, B13 to 14, and also you can see here the question, the current question is simply found here, which is C28. So this series of text or context is enough to solve a problem. However, we need to repeat it, but you'll notice that if we were to answer question 2, that's all we need, because say, as we said before, say you've answered 4 and now we're at question 2, you'll notice that this will also be sufficient AI instruction to answer question 2. So really the same input will work for all the questions. All we really need to do is repeatedly instruct AI to keep answering again. That's how we need a repeat command 4. Okay, so we're about to submit it, and let's say repeat this AI input 150 times. We will submit this AI input, and it will actually instruct AI to read the input 150 times and execute it 150 times. Why 150 times for just 21 answers? It's just a safe maximum number to allow for skipped iterations where AI gives an incorrect VBA code. As you know, the limitations of LLMs today and edge cases, in some, depending on the questions, VBA code, AI might emit incorrect VBA code. So D4E itself will orchestrate all these communications, determine if it's a bad iteration, and therefore skip it. So we're giving it enough or safe number maximum by which to try. So hopefully it should be enough to answer 21 questions. Any iteration is okay because, as we know, we've seen, it always knows what the question is and where to put the answers. So all good there. And the iterations are happening quickly and the correct answers are being built. Let's try this now and see what happens. We'll click submit and it will work on this sheet. This is a different sheet, but it will work on this sheet because all the instructions are referring to this particular sheet. So although things are happening here, when we click submit, it will start answering the questions here. So, as you can see, it is repeatedly running a command. And as you can see here, it is slowly building up. The answers, which we will soon see. Notice, for example, we are already at repetition 4, and yet we only have 2 answers. That can only mean 2 of the iterations were wasted or invalid. But D4E correctly just skipped them and tried another iteration. Hopefully this time you'll get it. So you'll have more repetitions than you'll have answers. And hopefully you have given an enough maximum set. So looking at this situation, we have answered 12 questions and it is continuing. So ultimately all the answers will be built like so, all the 21 answers. You may may not have enough iterations, so if it doesn't work out for you, you can always repeat it. You know that if you save this AI input, you can always come along, even if it's just halfway through. For example, in this case, if it's halfway through, you can just repeat again and it will continue working where it stopped until you get all the answers correct. So, to summarize, D4E AI is able to solve a simple question when we give it all the information it needs, such as the gameplay, where to get the data, where to put the answers. This particular challenge allowed us to demonstrate that D4E can repeatedly call the AI cleanly to answer a series of questions. D4E takes care of orchestrating iterations, making sure that the good iterations are not impacted by the bad iterations. Thank you and see you next time.